How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Buy this Bitcoin dip. Sell everything to buy. That is what Michael Saylor is saying. Literally saying, sell more than you have. Like, sell your organs to buy this dip. We'll talk about why the market's actually looking a little bit better today. We've moved up about $5,000. There's some interesting things happening with BlackRock, kind of a 4D chess move. So we'll be going through that, what they're doing behind the scenes, why they're so bullish. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Stay through to the end. If you have to put it at 1.25 or 1.5x speed, do that, but stay through to the end of the video because there's a lot to cover. If you do want to trade, there's a link to BTCC underneath the video. You get extra deposit bonuses when you sign up and start depositing, and you get lower trading fees with no KYC. You don't need a VPN. There's also a link to BitUnix, to Hotcoin as well. I started using Hotcoin recently, and I really have liked that. And WEEX, which has a deposit bonus as well. And if you want to see what I'm doing, I actually just made a video yesterday. I accidentally posted it for everyone at first, but then I went back and posted it just for the Patreon members because that's what I was there for in the first place. If you want to check out that video, what I'm buying, what I'm seeing in the market, you can check out the link down below to the Patreon. Now, the market is interesting. We have a bit of a bounce here today, which is nice to see because we fell down pretty significantly. We went down to 78,200 last night on Bitcoin, but now we're starting to bounce up a little bit. A lot of people got liquidated. A lot of people sold. I mean, look at this. Solana down at 126. It's already up 15% since last night, like 12 hours ago. That's how crazy volatile this market is. And a lot of other altcoins jumping up as well. Part of this is just because we bounced off the bottom, and part of it is we did get pretty good inflation numbers. PCE came in at 0.3. The expectation was 0.3. The core came in at 0.3. The expectation was 0.3. So year over year, we're at 2.5%. The core is at 2.6%. Obviously, these are maybe a little bit cooked, a little bit adjusted based on what the government wants to show, but still, it does reassure the markets a bit. As you can see, we have bounced pretty well. I mean, this is a fairly big move. When you're able to capture these moves, or when you're able to dollar cost average on dips, it can provide a huge benefit over long term. I mean, that's an 8.3% move from the bottom last night. Obviously, we did get somewhat close to that $74,000 range. That's what a lot of people are watching. That's kind of where I thought we would go. If we broke under 80, I figured we'd probably go down to 74. But sometimes the markets don't work out that well, right? Sometimes we don't quite get there. So I have been adding to some of my positions over the last few days. And yeah, this could, like I said in yesterday's video, be the opportunity of a lifetime. And honestly, if you have some Bitcoin and you actually know what Bitcoin is, you feel strongly about it, and you also have some cash, or you just make an income, the next year is going to be super fun no matter what. If we go down, you have a great buying opportunity. If we go up, we're going to make tons of money. As you can see here, almost $1 billion liquidated in the last 24 hours, 781 million long. You can also see we are bouncing off of the max fear. We're just, I think 16 is fear now technically. Oh no, it's still extreme fear. So we're at 16, but we have bounced from the bottom. We have gotten some interesting news. So over the last week or so, we've seen the SEC ending their investigation into a ton of different entities. Most likely we'll see another one here today. Every day we've seen one, but yeah, we'll have to pay attention to that. The big news today is BlackRock. BlackRock adding its Bitcoin ETF to model portfolio for the first time. So the world's biggest asset manager is finally allowing Bitcoin into its $150 billion model portfolio universe. They're adding 1% to 2% allocation to the $48 billion iShares IBIT ETF in their target allocation portfolios that allow for alternatives, according to an investment outlook viewed by Bloomberg. While that's a small subset of BlackRock's entire portfolio, the addition opens up a potential avenue for more demand. This is something that I've talked about. BlackRock has $10 trillion in AUM. So while they, actually I think it might be 12 or 13 trillion, they have 50 billion in IBIT. Let's call it 50 billion, right? They can go buy another 10 billion at almost any time without approval from anyone. They have active portfolios. They have these model portfolios as well, which are just like pre-made portfolios for advisors or for investors like you and me that want exposure to a bunch of different assets. So they literally could say, yeah, we're going to make a 3% allocation in these $300 billion worth of portfolios. And yeah, we're buying $9 billion worth of Bitcoin today. Now, I don't think that's what they're going to do, right? They're going to dollar cost average slow and steady, because when they have added it to portfolios, they're buying, a handful of million. By that, I mean like a few $1,000,000 worth of Bitcoin, or the IBIT ETF, or maybe a couple tens of millions of dollars. But they're not going out and trying to buy 500 million in a day in addition to what people are just buying in IBIT, right? They want to buy it slow and steady. And to be fair, they don't want to piss off people that don't want to hold Bitcoin. So they don't want to make any rash allocations and then lose AUM or get people pissed off. But this is bound to continue to happen, right? This is not even the holy grail, which is what I've been looking at, what I've been waiting for them to do, which is target date funds, right? At my first job, we had Fidelity target date funds. And that just allows people with the 401k to continuously buy assets week after week after week, or paycheck after paycheck, and they never touch them, right? Even when people move, a lot of the time they don't change the allocation, right? A lot of people buy for 40 years without ever selling these portfolios. So if Bitcoin can get into a lot of target date funds, which might be, let's say 90-10 for a young person, 90% stocks, 10% bonds, maybe it's 98-2, 2% going into Bitcoin. Well, that locks up a lot of Bitcoin for a lot of years. So that is coming down the line, but this is still pretty big news, and a lot of people are commenting about it, commenting on it, showing, hey, BlackRock is making moves. When Bitcoin's dipping, yeah, their clients might be selling, people that own the IBIT ETF might be capitulating, but BlackRock is trying to make it a bigger part of their funds, of their organization. 74% of Bitcoin losses came from holders who bought in the last month. Newcomers are the ones that are getting shaken out. I heard someone say, well, whales are selling, why aren't you? Whales aren't selling. It's the newcomers, it's the people on extreme leverage. We're talking 100x, 50x, 20x. That's why you have to have extra margin available, extra capital available, either to open new positions or to add margin to your positions, or you just go super low leverage. That's what I've been talking about. 3x leverage. And even if you bought at the worst possible time, you would not be liquidated at this point. You wouldn't have been. So you have to think long term. Who is selling right now? What is the possibility of the future, right? BlackRock buying a lot more Bitcoin. Maybe nation states buying Bitcoin. The Trump organization filed a trademark for Trump with plans to launch a metaverse and NFT trading platform. Trump is pro-crypto. SEC declares meme coins legal. To be clear, they say meme coins are generally not considered securities under U.S. federal law and do not need to be registered with the SEC. Okay, we are getting the green light. The crypto industry is getting the green light to invest how we want now. Raul Paul says, I will put out a flash update video later today with more details, but the global M2 and Bitcoin chart has largely played out. Patience. Volatility is the price you pay for returns. As you can see, Bitcoin typically goes up when money supply goes up. This is a 10-week lead. So Bitcoin is actually a bit delayed here, but in a couple months, we could be spiking up. Bitcoin could be spiking up. So I'd be paying attention to this. And we have senators that are saying, I spend dollars and say Bitcoin. Take a look at this.
To crypto, Senator, because you're in New York City today for the Bitcoin Investors Conference. You'll be on several panels later today. I understand last night you bought drinks at a Bitcoin-themed pub key bar. But listen, you paid in cash. Why? How about Bitcoin?
Well, because I spend dollars and save Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an asset that's growing in value, and I know it's volatile. Its short-term volatility has been in existence since it has been in existence. But in the long term, it's growing in value, where the U.S. dollar is by design debasing every year. The Fed has it designed so it inflates 2% or more. They try to keep it around 2%, but they can't. And so the U.S. dollar is always declining by design.
Yeah.
And so the scarcity of Bitcoin, the fact that 21 million will only exist in all of time, gives it that certainty, that stability, that scarcity in the long run.
So we have senators talking about spending US dollars because they become more and more worthless, and Bitcoin continues to become more and more valuable. Michael Saylor says, sell a kidney if you must, but keep the Bitcoin. All right. I mean, Michael Saylor, obviously the biggest Bitcoin bull probably in the world, at least the biggest Bitcoin bull that has put his money where his mouth is, and also has significant amounts of money, right? Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I think this is a bit tongue-in-cheek, obviously, Michael Saylor saying that. I think you still have to come with a very long-term focus with Bitcoin, and you have to have a good, solid base. If you're someone that comes in and says, yeah, I'm going to sell everything and go all into Bitcoin, well, when we see a 20% drop, a lot of those people end up leaving the market. They freak out. They need the money next month, next week for rent. You can't do that. You need a solid base. You need a good income so that you can continuously dollar cost average into the market. You need probably assets even outside Bitcoin. I know some people don't do that. That's fair. I know some people in real life that have made insane amounts of money from being all in on Bitcoin for close to a decade, or around a decade. So you can do it. But it's not for most people. Most people are tourists. They're not in this for the long run. So you have to have that solid base, I think. But of course, you know yourself the best, hopefully. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, if you do want to trade, there are links underneath the video to BTCC, to WEEX, to Blowfin. All those have really good bonuses right now, and they're great places to trade. So definitely check those out. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one.